create a GPT, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and create this. And what we're going to do today is create a couple of interview coaches. So, and we'll call this, we'll say create, it says, hello, I'm here to help you with your new GPT. Okay, great. Let's just move on here. What would you like to make? And I'll just say, okay, interview coach. And I'm going to say electrical engineering. Electrical engineering. Okay. Say okay, and it's going to say, okay, great. And from here on, it's going to guide you through some things. Now, there's some important things when you're going through prompts. You have to remember that just act like it is someone you're talking to. And with regards to that, you need to tell them everything about how to go ahead and do this. So then it comes back and it says, hey, great choice. Let's name this GPT. How about like, and I say, no, I actually just want to keep interview coach. How about electrical engineering graduate? Okay. So it's going to go ahead and name that for you. Now, don't worry if you don't name these correctly, because you can go back and you can change anything or reconfigure this as you'd like. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to use its programming capabilities, looking into Dolly, and it's going to create a little icon or logo for you automatically. And it can tell you, it can ask you, you can then, if you don't like it, ask it to regenerate it, which is actually really cool because it's going on. So I always like what it comes up with, actually. I think it's actually really cool. So here's the profile picture, interview coach, electrical engineering graduate. Do you like it or I like it? Okay, so I'm just going to say I like it. And we'll move on from there. And now you have to really give it some context about what you're going to do, because right now this is pretty basic about how it's going to answer things. But let's give it context about what it's supposed to do. So I want to tell it that it is you're a new graduate and that you don't have any work experience, and then also some basic interviewing techniques. So I'm going to write that out and go from there. So here I've written out some things about the role. So your role is to be a coach for interviewing a recent grad of a school in the School of Electrical Engineering. You are to be professional, ask questions that relate to engineering, but are also other questions. Remember, this is a recent graduate, so they most likely don't have any work experience. So as you can see, I'm going through it and I'm identifying specific areas where they are supposed to look at. Also, be sure to follow practices and examples and interviews that most people give, like explain a time that you failed. And use the book, The Perfect Interview, to touch on these types of questions. So this is something I've used in the past, and it works extremely well. And especially for recent graduates that don't have any specific work experience, this is really good to get them thinking about how am I going to answer these type of questions, and what are my responses and how, because all these interviewers usually do the same type of work. So let's move on from here and let's see what it says after this. So we're going to put that in there and see what GPT Builder says to us, and see what we're going to update. Now, one of the things that's extremely cool, and this has really revolutionized, the ability for people to use this, is that there's other capabilities that you can use, like this little file thing. So you can use it to attach files. Say if I had a PDF of The Perfect Interview or another book that I like regarding interviews, I could upload that. I could use it to upload this. However, I've found that the PDF upload doesn't work extremely well. So you might want to take that, extract it, put it into text, and then upload it. because that seems to work a heck of a lot better. So anyways, it came back here and says, GPT Builder, now let's encode your GPT. Should you emphasize or avoid, what should you emphasize or avoid in interactions? Are there any specific topics or type of advice you'd like to steer clear of? Okay, so steer clear of asking work experience questions, as this is a new grad. Is there anything else? I think this is pretty good for basic. Remember, you can always add later, so let's go ahead and send that. So the GPT is thinking about this, and we're going to go ahead and upgrade this. And like I said, these are going to be available, and you can make these available for other people or for your family, or you can groups of people. So this is actually really good. How should GPT approach situations where it might need to ask, clarify, or fill in missing details of user questions? Should it lean towards asking more information or make assumptions? And I'm going to say ask follow-up questions. And you can see I misspelled questions, but it doesn't matter about that type of stuff. So the GPT Builder is going to go on this, and then you're going to see that over here there's a configure, and this configure capability allows you to go back and change anything that you might have, maybe there's something that you don't want to put in there that you had put in there before, or maybe you want to add to it. So that allows you to go through that there too. Okay, so and here it's kind of the last bit, but this is how the GPT is going to communicate. And I'm going to say, be a professional and courteous. Help explain where that applicant could do better, or if they did great. So this is, remember, you're acting almost like you're a human here. The GPT is going to take this information in, and it's going to put constraints on itself on how it's going to respond. Okay, great. So now it says your GPT interview code is now up and ready. Feel free to test it out on the playground. If you have any comments you'd like to make, just let me know. Okay, so you can either do it right through here, but it's probably better to go into the configure, and then you can see everything you did. So here you can go and configure and see where the name is, the description, the instructions that are available. And then here are some conversation starters. Maybe you want to put in some other questions that might be used there. And then knowledge. Again, this is an area where you can upload, say, different types of files, PDF, text, Word docs, anything like that, or even I think it'll even allow GIFs and JPEGs now, and it can kind of sort through some of those. Not as good. So if you want to, I'd rather use things like text and Word documents to go ahead and increase your knowledge base, or use maybe something specific to there. So it's a great way to really refine this model. It really works fantastic. So let's go over here, and we're just gonna say, okay, well, shoot, let's give it a shot. So how do I answer a question about circuit design? So you can ask it like that, and just hit one of the starter questions and see what it comes up with. And you'll find that it actually does a pretty good job of this. I think also you might want to go ahead, let me just move this icon over here. And sometimes it takes a little while, so we'll just pause. And here it goes. It really comes up with some really good information. Clarify the question, basic concept X much. Start by explaining the basic concept of circuit design, technical details, and then an example if possible. Really gives you a good, solid approach to communicating your skill set back. And trying this out, I think you'd really improve your interviewing process. So I think that's really good. So let's just say, how about ask me another question. Certainly. Can you explain the difference between MOSFET and BJT? How would the question assesses your understanding? So it does a great job there, right? So and then there's other things that when I asked it to, let's just see if it asks something out of the perfect interview. Please choose a question and again I misspelled, but I didn't care. So look, the questions that it comes up with, once you've refined this down, it does a great job of this. So I think going forward, using this and along with other tools that I'm going to show you how to build and use for yourself, this can actually help you, either score an interview or help you get an interview. And I'm going to design some automation that'll help you reach out to people and make it sound like you have deep insight and knowledge into what they're currently doing. So that really will do a great job of that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and give me a follow if it helps out, or ask any questions if you want. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.